After Joseph composes himself, they all sit down for a meal, and after the fear of the journey and wondering what Joseph's reaction to them returning to Egypt would be, it's almost like you can hear them breathe a sigh of relief as the chapter ends off with, "So they feasted and drank freely with Joseph." The brothers get their grain, or the bags are loaded full, and they begin the journey back home. Little do they know that Joseph has prepared his final test for the brothers, to see if they've been treating his full-blood brother Benjamin as badly as they treated him. What Joseph does is to put his silver cup in Benjamin's bag of grain. And once they're a little out of town, he sends one of his stewards to ask them why they have repaid Joseph's kindness and goodness towards him with evil. They're obviously confused, and so they ask the steward to explain. He tells them that someone has stolen his master Joseph's cup. They're pretty sure that they haven't, so they say, "Why does my lord say such things? Far be it from your servants to do anything like that. If any of your servants is found to have it, he will die, and the rest of us will become my lord's slaves." But the servant of Joseph says, "Very well then, let it be as you say. Whoever is found to have it will become my slave. The rest of you will be free from blame." They all agree, and the servant begins to search, starting with the eldest and working down towards Benjamin, the youngest. And of course, because it was put there by Joseph, that is where they find the cup. With that discovery, we hear that they tear their clothes in desperation. Not Benjamin, of all the brothers. They load back up their donkeys and return to the city to beg Joseph for mercy. Then the brothers explain to Joseph all that has happened. They tell him of their father's reluctance in allowing Benjamin to come back with them, and their promises on their own lives to return Benjamin safely home. The one brother, Judah, says to him, "So now, if the boy is not with us when I go back to your servant my father, and if my father, whose life is closely bound up with the boy's life, sees that the boy isn't here, he will die. Your servant guaranteed the boy's safety to my father. I said, if I do not bring him back to you, I will bear the blame before you, my father, all my life. Now then, please let your servant remain here as my lord's slave, in place of the boy, and let the boy return with his brothers." When Judah was younger, he showed no regard for his brother Joseph or his father Jacob. First, he convinced his brothers to sell Joseph as a slave. Then he joined his brothers in lying to their father about Joseph's fate. But we see all these years later that he is a changed man. The man who sold one favored little brother into slavery now offered to become a slave himself to save another favored little brother. He was so concerned for his father and younger brother that he was willing to die for them. Judah could finally take no more and step forward to plead their case. This was risky because Joseph could have had him killed, but Judah courageously defended himself and his brothers and pleaded for their mercy. He offered to put himself in Benjamin's place. There were times in life when we should stay silent, but there are also times when we need to speak up, even if there could be serious repercussions. When faced with a situation that needs a strong voice and courageous action, remember Judah and speak up, because it's from this action that things finally change in the story, and we're about to see some of the true reconciliation happen soon. When you're ready to give up hope on yourself or others, remember that God can work a complete change in even the most selfish personality. I'm going to say that again to make sure that we hear it. When you are ready to give up hope on yourself or others, remember that God can work a complete change in even the most selfish personality. Where are you in the story? Weeping Joseph who just needs to let it out? A personality that needs to be changed like Judah was? Like Joseph who was waiting to see if someone had changed their personality or would actually care about him? Or like the father, you feel like everything is just going wrong? Which part of the story resonates with you? Keep that in mind as we hear the rest of the story and we see how things really, really change around. Amen.